Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I'm making another tamale pie recipe. I had to peel tomatoes, take the seeds out and chop them, and I needed 4 cups. And I think I've got 4 cups here. Yeah, I got 4 cups here. You'll need 1.5 pounds of ground beef. You'll need, I'm actually doing all the prepping right now. I got the ground meat here. And I got the tomatoes here already done. Just running out of room, but that's so typical of me in this small area. All right, so I wanted to, for most of you who are learning to cook, one of the most important things that you can do in the kitchen is you must have a clean area. A lot of people don't think about this, but if you don't have a clean area, you can have the knife on the edge, it drops to the floor. If you have pets that are around your feet or little ones, they could get hurt. You could hurt yourself. It could land on your foot. You can get cut. Another thing is if you have a lot of mess and clutter, you can't see where everything's at. And this is very, very important. They always stress this a lot, that you keep a clean work area. Now I'm chopping onions. I got the peelings right here. I'm gonna, right here on the side here, the peelings, I'm gonna put them in my compost, where I will actually in a bag and freeze them till I'm ready to make some more stock, and then the rest will go in the compost. I have onions here and I'm chopping these right now. They want them finely chopped. You got a lot of vegetables in this one. This one's a really big one. I think I'm gonna make, haven't decided. I don't have the size pan they want, so I'm gonna have to sit there and just do it a little different. But I wanted to talk to you that accidents happen when you don't have a clean area. And when you work in a restaurant, and most chefs do after they go to culinary school, and that's the proper term, culinary, they can't afford to have a messy area because the dishes are coming out, and you know that you will wait less than 30 minutes and you have your dish out. So if it was a mess in the kitchen, they weren't cleaning up behind themselves, you can imagine the chaos that would be going on in a kitchen. Now, as mothers, we don't sit there and work in a restaurant, but we have children, children's have pets, things happen. Children come running in when you least expect it, which isn't, they're notorious for doing. They'll go outside playing, they'll come running in and have something to eat. And if you're in the kitchen working and you don't have a clean area, there's a good chance that you could end up hurting your family. So it's very important that you always, always have a clean area. Now they want 2 onions, finely chopped, which I'm doing. This is my second onion. I wanted to talk to you about why they're so insistent that you have a work area that's clean. That's why over there where I have a little bit of room, I put my things, the ingredients that I need. And then as my counter gets clear, you see me taking all of this, moving it over here, because like I said, I've got like 2 feet by 3, and this is what I'm working in my area. And I have a bowl here where I put my peelings and stuff that I don't collect, like when I'm making stock and stuff. Well, I finally got sugar cane down. So how to make sugar cane syrup. So when I go shopping, I'm going to make a little pit stop and go pick some up, and I'll show you how to make it. It's really nice. A little bit of work, of course. If you want anything, you have to work for it. If you think you can just rob it and steal it, that's ridiculous. Putting all of this in a bowl. I am doing a lot of prepping before I even get started on this dish. I can't even do the cornmeal yet. going to de-seed, take the stem off. If you want to know how to peel fresh tomatoes and stuff, I will show you, because I'm going to be canning tomatoes and making tomato sauce. So I'm going to have to be doing that. So you will see me doing that. Let me go ahead and get the sausage and show you how to do that. You need a ½ pound of sausage. That way I'll keep them on the plate, because you guys will have kittens if it touches the board. You want to get the sausage out, you don't want the casing. That's it. Just take the casing off. See if I can take them out of the casing. I should be able to make my own sausage. Okay, you got the sausage? Just have to, oh no, get down, down! No, get, I'll run you out of here. You already ate. Okay, so we got a ½ pound of sausage ready, 1½ pounds of ground beef, and 4 cups of tomatoes peeled and seeded. And of course, I chopped them up too. This one is a big meal if you're having guests over and all. This meal with a salad will cover, and a beer would go very well with this. And children, well, I'm sure if you're having guests over, you would give them soda on this day. Okay, now they want this finely chopped. Yeah, right. Well, not that big. This is not like the one that I made before. This is a different recipe, but like I told you, I have a lot of different recipes that I use in different ways. One person will like it better this way, other people like it better this way. So I'll just sit there and say, okay, we'll just go in different directions and see what we come up with. And whichever one's your favorite, you know, you got it. here chopping. I am chopping. I bet you most of you are awake, or just getting up and saying, no, I'm going to be making my coffee right about now. Because let's see, yeah, you'd be getting up and having coffee, getting your bearings right now. I've already been up 2 hours. Well, over 2 hours, actually. No. Alright, that's a whole bell pepper with 2 onions. Yeah, they have me doing a lot of prepping. I wasn't kidding when I said this calls for a lot of prepping before you even get started on it. Okay, what do you want prepped now? Okay, we need celery and garlic. How much garlic? Oh, good. They only want 1 clove of garlic. That's easy enough. They want it minced. Now here's another way you can mince this very lazy, but it works just as well. If you don't want to do it with a paring knife, and you want to take a shortcut to it, be a little faster. That goes with that. Now celery. How much celery do they want? 1 cup. I have not had breakfast yet. So you can't say anything, I'm eating. The only reason I didn't eat breakfast this morning, because I wasn't hungry. I was just thirsty this morning, so I just had some water. Like I said, coffee, tea, sodas, and I do not get along. Oh, this is not a cup. I'll have to get another one. Well, we'll get another one and add it to that, and we should have a cup. The white part of your vegetables, especially you see it on lettuces, or the white part way down here, is high in chlorophyll, which is something else our body needs, but people don't think about it. Oh, Sandra, really? Yeah, I did. Okay, this will do. I found a recipe for poutine with peach chutney. So I'm going to be making some peach chutney this year. I've made pear and I think I've made apple, but I want to make peach chutney to go with that. I think that's a good cup. Anything else? Yeah, I know I wet the book up again. All right. Additional salt. Oh, and add 1.5 teaspoons of salt into here. Oh, he is carrying on. Are you out of food? No, you're not. Your brother? Go get your brother if you want you to play Taffy. Yeah, I did. I wet my cookbook again. All right. All right, we got the beef ready. We got the, oh, add the tomatoes and corn. Okay. I haven't canned corn. My corn is growing out in the garden right now. So I had to buy corn. If you've canned it, they want 2.5 cups of canned whole kernel corn with the juice. Now I have to get 2.5 cups of fresh corn cut from the cob, and I will be adding a 1/2 cup of water to mine. Okay? So I have to get some corn. Okay, let me get these vegetable peelings up. A lot of people don't realize how many nutrients are in all of the peelings that we throw away. I mean, the gopher's digging in my garden looking for my compost, and I'm not doing it because he's eating everything. Now, This part is called the husk. The reason I'm going to go through this is you'll see in a bit. I'm taking the husk off first. You see this here, corn silk? You can make teas out of it. This part here. And it's called corn silk. And that's what I'm going to do with my corn. And I probably will dehydrate it in the dehydrator and make tea out of it. So think about how much that you're wasting when you start dumping things into the trash. When you think about it, you sit there and say, God, I'm really throwing a lot out, aren't I? Yeah, you can also save the tomato skins, dehydrate them, and use them as seasonings. I have some that I've done from last year. I haven't finished them up yet. But you can use those as seasonings as well. So I go to can my corn, I'm going to make sure I do the silk. And I can keep it. And it says it makes a very nice tea, so I said, good. Like if you have dandelions, the flowers make an excellent tea. I also use it, I dehydrate them and put them in different mixtures that I make. And the leaves of dandelions you can put in your salad. And the roots were actually some of the first coffee. It almost tastes like coffee. Probably doesn't have the caffeine to cause your blood pressure to go up. So if you have dandelions, you know, they're good for you. The leaves, the flowers, and the roots. There's nothing to waste on the dandelion. They're also the first flowers for the bees when they come out and they're getting ready to, you know, start doing their little thing, which gives us honey and hormones and stuff that we need, because honey is loaded with hormones. A lot of people don't know that. Yes, I am cleaning my area up. I don't know how much corn I need. 2.5 cups. Here's a 2 cup. When you do this, I want you to be extremely careful because you can hurt yourself. If this slips, you're going to cut your fingers. So you make sure that you're holding in the back here. You have the thicker side down at the bottom. This is on. I'm going to cut this off so I can lay it flat like this. It makes better support for me. The narrow end up here. And be careful. You turn it and you just keep on going. This is what they cook down to make corn syrup. I'm letting you know how things are done. So if you want to do it yourself, you can. I'm going to try to make my own corn syrup. It's just I'm not doing it right now. So I'll put those in the compost. You know, when I first came up to the metropolitan area, I went outside every day and swept the sidewalk picked everything up. And 30 minutes after I did it, people would come and throw their trash all over the place. And I did it every day. I couldn't understand why. And then finally, as I got to know people up here, they said that's sanitation's job, don't worry about it. So I quit worrying about it. Then, after years, I get a $300 fine for not cleaning up to 18 inches out into the street. And I had been doing that for a long time, and finally everybody said sanitation takes care of that, not you. And then I find out I was lied to, and I am responsible for it. So after paying that fine and making me extremely angry, not that I had the fine, but that I already knew that and was doing that and was told I didn't have to do it, then to find out you have to do it. And they say there's no excuse for not knowing the law. That one has a good base. The reason I want a good base is because I don't want this thing to flip while I'm doing this. My husband knew that I did not like city life. It's too noisy, too everything. So he put me on the outer edge. You know, it takes me an hour and a half to get into the city. He took me that far out. But I'm still close enough that I can get the transportation to go into the city if I have to. Oh, we're definitely going to need another ear. This ear should do just fine. That's what you call the whole thing. Ears of corn. You just don't want to come up, do you? Yeah, good stuff. Not the straightest. So you can see all these big businesses as you watch me cook. You can see they've taken all these skills away from us and are making a mint off of it. Okay, I think we're done mincing. I don't have much more here to chop. I took everything out. I know that's a cup and a half. Like I said, clean your mess up. Now I'll be right back. Okay, if you use fresh corn off the cob like I did, you have to add half a cup of water, I mean, to your corn. That's what I'm doing right now, because I have the corn underneath you. Okay, now let's see what else we have to do here. There's a lot to do, as you can see, before you get anywhere else. Stir into vegetables and mash and cook it until okay, add the tomatoes and corn. We got the tomatoes and corn ready. Now, if you have this, you are doing better than I. They're talking about a 10 by 14, 2 inches deep. I'm going to see how deep this is and can I use this instead. Might not be able to. Well, this is 11 inches by 8. Oh no, this will not hold it. They want it 2 inches deep. Yeah, this is 2 inches deep, but I don't have something 2 inches deep. All right. They say the pan you want is a 10 by 14 and 2 inches deep. Let me see what I have and I will be back. Okay, the biggest size I have some that are too large, and the one coming close to this is a 9 by 13. They want you to grease the pan. If you have a 10 by 14 by 2, you're doing very good. That's the size they want. I'm just going to have to make do with what I have. So, go ahead and get it greased. I thought about using 2 8 by 8s, but I said no, then that's not enough. It's too much. So I come as close as I can. Some of it might not fit in. If it doesn't, I'll just have to sit there and put it to the side and think about what I'm going to do with it. All right, put your greased pan to the side. You know, so I'm saying put everything to the side. We're going to have to cook the cornmeal first. They want a large quart. They want a large, where am I? In a 3-quart kettle, they want you to boil 4 cups of water. Well, let's see, do I have enough? Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't need this pan, this pot. I'm thinking. You're actually hearing me think before I get you over there. And this one should be able to handle it. Well, if it doesn't, all right, you want 4 cups of boiling water. So I got a saucepan here, a big one. We got 4 cups. We're going to bring this to a boil. While we're doing that, I know we're going through the stages. We need, well, I'm going to use this bowl. It doesn't make sense. I'm not going to waste it. This hard energy. 2 cups of cold water put into a bowl. Okay, you got 4 cups coming to a boil. All right, and you want 1.5 cups of yellow cornmeal stirred into here. Let's see which one was me. 1.5 cups cornmeal. You would not believe how many different recipes I have to make cornmeal or polenta. I know it is polenta. They call this corn mush. Well, each to his own. Okay. 4 cups of water to a boil. All right, stir in the cornmeal into the cold water, then stir this into the boiling water. All right, we're gonna need anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 cup of butter, lard, or margarine. What am I doing? This goes over here. I'm gonna need more salt and butter. I will cut it in half. Now we're stalemated. Okay, we got everything chopped, but we have to get this done first before we can go further. Well, this seems it's going to be a liquid cornmeal more than the other one that I did. Okay. All right, as soon as this water boils, we are going to move forward. Divide a stick of butter in half because we don't know if we're going to use 1/4 or the whole stick. If you're using lard, same measurements. It'll be 1/4 to 1/2. If you're using margarine, it'll be the same thing, but I would bypass the margarine. I would use the lard, but nah, not today. Oh, I want to add some powdered milk in this. Powdered milk is going to give extra protein to this. It also gives you other nutrients as well. It's like having milk. I'm going to add 1/2 cup. It doesn't interfere with the thickness or anything, but it makes it more nutritious. And if you're missing minerals and some protein, here is a very easy way of getting it in. See? It doesn't interfere with it at all. Now, I want to buy some more poussins, which are 3.5-week-old little birds, and I want to make peach chutney. This is in my wild game cookbook, which gave me a place where I could buy wild game. I can get elk, I can get moose, I can get venison, I can get, quail. I mean, I can get these things now. It took me a while to find it. I lost it in my cookbooks. I finally found the cookbook, right cookbook, and it has all the information in the back where I can order all this stuff. So I'll be able, if my butcher can't get it for me, I will definitely be getting it through the mail. I just have to make sure that I'm home, because I know it's going to be sent in, what is it called? Dry ice, I'm sure. Something like that to keep it cold. And it will be a special delivery. Get it to the house right away. So I'll have to make sure that it doesn't land on a day that I'm out of here. Oh. One treat, I'm so sorry so many people have never experienced this, is to go out into the garden, and when the corn is ready, you break off a stalk or an ear. The stalk is the whole thing, I mean, the ear. Peel back the husk, take the silk and move it off and eat it. Don't even warm it up, don't even add salt. The warmth of the sun and just getting it fresh like that is so sweet. You wouldn't believe it. But anyway, I'm gonna pause you till that water boils and we'll move on. Okay, it's boiling. All right. They want you to continue stirring this until it comes to a boil. Once it comes to the boil, we're going to turn the heat low and keep the mixture simmering. And then we're going to be stirring in the salt and the butter or lard or margarine, whichever one you're using. If it's going to lump, it's going to start lumping. That's why I use a whisk. It's so much better. Now when this comes to a boil, I'm going to get popped. And I wet my book up again. Turn it down to low, to a simmer. Add half a stick of butter into it. I might add more, I just don't know yet. And you're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Yes, I know you're popping. We're winding down, that's for sure. I think I'm going to add the whole stick in, okay? But you make a judgment call on your own on that. Now they want this to simmer for 30 minutes. I just want to get the butter melted before I move it to another burner, and we'll start putting the other stuff together and get the rest of this together. I'm going to play the Otis trick that I learned at the hunting camp. Okay, they want it on a low flame. Okay, what do you want me to do with it? Cover it or what? Cover and simmer 30 minutes. So put the lid on your polenta and we're going to let it simmer for 30 minutes. Right, put the lid. Oh. Nope, that's not it. I don't think so. Yeah, that's it, Sandra. Let me go get a pen and we'll get the rest of this going. 30 minutes, 7:30. I'm going to use my nose here because there's a lot going into this. Simmer 30 minutes. Okay. In a kettle or a large frying pan, mash the sausage and cook over medium heat until it begins to lose color. Well, I've got to grease it because it's a nose stick. Now, a nose stick has a coating on it. You cannot use certain spoons or spatulas and stuff. You have to get the right equipment to work with this, because if you don't, it'll scratch. My son used the metal on it, metal spatula, when he was learning something, and he scratched the pan. And he said, "No, I didn't. I was careful." I said, "No, I told you have to use this." And he put a scratch right here, so I know in time I won't have this for a long time, but at least he learned. He said, "Well, how do you clean it?" I said, "With a washcloth or the rubber scrubber there, but nothing else. Because if you tear it or cut the finish, it's going to take the lifetime of your pan away." So you have to have grease on this before you can even put heat on it. All right, now you heard me read what it wants to do with the sausage. So we're going to get the pan hot. This one's on low, simmering there. See, they have a binder with this sausage. That's why it holds so nice. I know the pan's not hot, but it doesn't matter. I've already got grease on it. See, these are the kind of spatulas that you need. Rubber spatulas so they don't scratch this. And if you're using spoons, they should be wooden spoons and you won't get any scratches on this. Like I said, my husband got me all kinds of spatulas, all kinds of everything. Because he likes to eat. And because I like to cook and he liked to get in the kitchen too. That's where I learned some West Indian meals from him. I learned how, it's been a long time, from Clara, from Consuelo. People walked into my life and taught me things. Ida Sunda, remember her? Oh God, go into her home and the things that she used to make. Oh my God, it's so delicious. She used to ask my husband if he was going to go to the Oktoberfest with the bear and stuff, the German bear and stuff. So she was German. Now these are hot sausages that I'm using. Want more spice? See, when I was little, my mother went to make a meatloaf and she made sausages. They didn't have binders in it, so she would just empty the casing off. I tried doing that, and that meatloaf was the worst meatloaf I had ever made. And I realized this is how they spread things out. All right, we are going to add, where am I? 2 tablespoons of chili powder in here. That's not quite enough, so I'm going to get my other jar. All right, and we need 3/4 of a teaspoon of cumin. I want you to stir this around and cook this a bit. have it on medium high. If you want to know what my temperature is. It dawned on me, I forgot to tell you. Okay, the next thing will be this. I have to back you up just a little. Then after that, we'll do these. What you're doing is cooking those flavors in with the sausage. Chili powder is like that. It really is. If you add everything before it has time to brown, for some strange reason you don't get the flavor that you're looking for. So this is why I'm stirring it around and cooking it a bit. Don't have to cook it long, but a bit. Add the onion, the bell pepper, salt that we put in the bowl. Now we've got the chili flavor coming out. It's going to mingle with this quite nicely. That looks very good. Now we are going to cook this until these vegetables get limp, better known as sauteed. Now you see why I got such a big pot. Alright, what comes, alright, this will be the next thing that we'll be doing. These will go in. I'm sort of lining everything up so it goes ABC. You'll notice that they're getting less bowls now and they're going into the sink. So if you didn't like the first tamale pie I made, here is another one. And the other one didn't have all of these ingredients, so you can see that each one is made different. So we just have to wait a bit. See how the vegetables have gotten soft? Now you're going to add the meat, all this beef, and you're going to cook it. Now you see why we did all that prepping, because we had the cornmeal cooking for 30 minutes. And we had to get all this done so we could do this, because this is like a 1, 2, 3. You really don't have time. This is why Julia Child taught prep everything before you start. When you go to bake, take stuff out, make sure it's room temperature, or it won't cook in the allotted time. And I am going to be doing some cooking that is going to throw us back in time, because I found out it's better. It makes your cakes taste better. So we'll be doing that and going backwards on some things. Most cakes will tell you to cream the butter and sugar, but we're going to do it differently the way it used to be done. And they find you get a better moisture cake. You have to keep stirring this until all the meat and the red rawness is gone. I think we better be turning the oven on. Let me see what temperature. 350 degrees. Would you believe I have the temperature up pretty high trying to get this done? Okay, you're going to add all your corn. And add all your tomatoes. Now you see what I got. And this is why you need a big pot. we still have more to do. This is a big meal. You're having friends over or something? This is a dish you could serve. I'm turning this up on high. I don't care what they say. Now, when they make this dish in Mexico, they use lard. Okay, they don't use butter or margarine. They use lard, and that's where they get that flavor that you're looking for. Now, they want this to cook while we're still waiting for the cornmeal in the oven to get hot. They want this to cook for, let me see how long. They want it to simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to bring it to a boil, and we will cook this for 15 to 20 minutes. And I will be back at that time. You will have to grate her some cheese. They want us to take about 2 cups of this, I think. That's what we're going to do with it. Let me check this thing one time. Two-thirds? Okay. I think that's about it. I could be wrong. Oh. Yes, you're watching me. I'm spreading it like a cake. Oh, God. He wants you to spread it up on the sides. I'm trying. Doesn't mean it's going to work. I'm trying. Because if the polenta dries from the air, it will stay. I think that's his logic in this, making it work. That's got to be enough. Oh. Well, it's hot. I can vouch for that. Yeah, it's gonna. I knew it. Because it's cold now, because I'm cooling it down, it's going to stick. Almost look like waves from on the sides. Well, that's me. Maybe I should have used the spatula instead. I didn't think about it at the time. Okay. Can't bring this pan over, so I'm going to have to do it this way. I will drop it. I can see why he said what he said. That makes a lot of sense now. Well, here goes some of the food to the floor. Don't worry, Taffy, you're not going to eat that. That is too dang hot for burn you. Alright, I'm not going to get the rest of this in here. I have to be honest with you. It's not going to fit, so I'll have to do something else with it. I can make cornmeal and serve it over it. I can make a polenta and serve over it. You know, there's a lot that I could do. Now he says just pour this over this. Does he know it's already sticking and gelling? He wants this whole thing covered up with this. This is not going to work, but I will come close to doing what he wants. I think you can now see why it was very important that the polenta had to simmer. Or you're trying to get everything else done. Come on. Well, I don't have much more. So I'm not going to get it all covered. If I try spreading it, I know exactly what's going to happen. I'll try. A flat knife would be very good about this time. Well, that's it. It's not going to go much more. Okay. You can put a few olives in it. It won't hurt it. We're going to put cheese all over this, okay? I'm using green olives with pimentos. I think that's enough. You can, if you don't want to put the olives and push it into the polenta, which I like, you can put them in before you put the polenta on. This is cheddar cheese and you have to put a lot on. I think I got, what, over a pound? I got a lot more. I gotta put the grater right there. Okay. I have to get some more cheese. Just gratering it here because I have that there. It does not say how much cheese to use or how many olives to push in. That's your choice. Because this is very, very high, I am going to definitely put something underneath it because I just cleaned the oven. I can see me cleaning it again. Because this will boil over. Because I didn't have the right size. I could see why they wanted the size. Okay, we're going to be cooking this for 1 whole hour. Okay, so I'll see you then.